The WNBA has been around for decades, but people haven't noticed the game. Now they're paying attention to it. But that's thanks to Kaitlyn Clark, not Angel Reese. I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Angel Reese throws a tantrum after something pretty violent happens. But honestly, it was her own fault, and now she has to deal with the consequences. And the girl she's been talking so much about? Oh, she's busy breaking records like it's just another Tuesday. Yeah, you guessed it. Kaitlyn Clark. And as we all know, this so-called rivalry between them is completely one-sided. I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. As much as anything, she should never be criticized for what she did. I think everyone knew there was going to be some thrash talk throughout the tournament. It wasn't just me and Angel, so, like I said, I'm a big fan of hers. Clark has let Angel talk trash for far too long, but even Clark's patience has a limit. And believe me, that limit has been crossed. If you're even remotely familiar with the WNBA, you should know that the Kaitlyn Clark-Angel Reese confrontation is probably the hottest thing going on right now. Seriously, you'd have to be living under a rock to ignore it. These two came into the league with inflated expectations, and while both were expected to shine, one of them is starting to overshadow the other, and it's becoming impossible to ignore. Let's just say that Kaitlyn Clark's stats speak for themselves, and Angel Reese is hitting a rookie wall, and maybe she'll accept the role of villain. Kaitlyn Clark? Yeah, her rise to the top isn't random luck. She's not just a player, she's a stat machine. We're talking 18 points per game, 8.1 assists, and an absurd 90.1% free throw accuracy. Who does that? She's outscoring her opponents, and it's not just about scoring points. She point guards, sets people up, and does it all with accuracy. She's the kind of player that gets coaches and analysts talking. But make no mistake, Kaitlyn Clark is the reason everyone has an opinion on what happened in this game. It's Kaitlyn Clark, and they're not wrong. This girl is in the gym more than some people are in their homes. She is constantly improving her game, getting better, and leaving no one with a chance to catch up to her. Kaitlyn Clark is the golden goose. She's amazingly talented, white, and very, very marketable. Let's not pretend that Angel Reese is anything overwhelming. This girl is an absolute beast on the boards. She's grabbing 12.9 rebounds per game like it's nothing, and yet dominating the paint is no easy task. She's constantly picking up offensive boards, giving her team second chances and making life miserable for the opponent. But here's the problem. How does she score? Yeah, that's where things start to fall apart. She's averaging 13.3 points per game, which isn't bad. But when you compare that to Clark's offensive onslaught, it seems like Reese is still stuck in second gear. Her shooting percentage? Let's just say it's not breaking any records, and that's where Clark starts to pull away. Chase her, compete with her, beat her every step of the way. No one's arguing that you can't chase her. The numbers alone make that abundantly clear. Clark is outscoring Reese, figuratively speaking, in virtually every category except rebounds. And let me tell you, the press is having a field day. Analysts, former players, coaches, they're all saying the same thing. Kaitlyn Clark is on another level right now. Stephen A. Smith, he's straight up talking about it. He's not just talking about stats, it's the way Clark controls the game, the way she reads the floor, and how she makes everyone around her better. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still doing her thing, but she's not having that same game-changing impact and everyone's noticing. Whether it's jealousy, envy, resentment, it's all justifiable because they were people that were pounding the pavement and going through so much to help elevate the WNBA's profile, long before Kaitlyn Clark ever came along, and yet were denied that level of recognition. But here's where it gets real. This isn't just about numbers, it's about handling pressure. Kaitlyn Clark is thriving. Every game, she's more focused, more lethal, and just better. She's taken all the rookie hype and used it as fuel, and she's out here proving the doubters wrong on a nightly basis. Angel Reese, on the other hand? I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. Well, let's just say the pressure's starting to crack her a little. Sure, she's still putting up solid numbers, but you can see the frustration creeping in. The constant comparisons to Clark. The weight of those expectations, it's starting to show. She's had more than a few moments on the court where the frustration just boiled over. And we're not talking about the normal competitive stuff. Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that. We're talking full-blown fits when things don't go her way. And guess what? That's only feeding into the narrative that she's struggling to keep up with Clark's meteoric rise. Look, if you think Kaitlyn Clark is just lucky, you might want to hit pause and get real for a second. This girl doesn't just roll out of bed and shoot hoops for fun. She lives on that court. We're talking about relentless hours of shooting drills, ball handling sessions that go on forever. And oh yeah, making plays not just for herself, but for her entire team. That's where she blows past everyone else. Kaitlyn isn't just about the points. She's an offensive mastermind, pulling the strings while everyone else is trying to catch up. Her 8.1 assists per game, that's proof she's already 5 moves ahead, reading defenses like she's got the cheat codes. And let's not even start on her scoring. Actually, no. Let's definitely start there because her numbers are straight up insane. A 41.4% shooting rate from the field? She's not just chucking up shots, she's making them count. Then throw in 33% from deep, and boom, you've got a player who can rain down pain from anywhere on the court. But here's where she really leaves people picking their jaws up off the floor. 90.1% from the free throw line, 90%. That's surgical. When she's at the stripe, you might as well just add those points to the scoreboard, because she's not missing. It's like she sees every free throw as a personal mission to show everyone she wastes nothing. Recovered by Gabby Marshall, here comes Clark. How will she go for history? Even the pros are running out of words to hype her up. Dan Patrick? He's called her one of the most efficient scorers he's ever seen. I think everybody's jealous of Kaitlyn Clark. I don't. But I do think they are out to prove a point. You're not coming in and dominating our game. Because we are grown women, and we are going to be physical with you. Stephen A. Smith, he's not holding back either, saying she's got the chops to be a generational talent. And let's face it, when guys like that are praising you, it's because you're doing something next level. Kaitlyn's control of the game, her ability to keep everyone guessing, and her unshakable calm under pressure. Yeah, that's stuff some players twice her age still haven't figured out. Her basketball IQ is out of this world. She's out there making snap decisions while defenders are still trying to figure out what just happened. Look at the record ratings they produced because of her arrival. Once upon a time, they were watching about their audience in Indiana for Indiana Fever games was about 4,000. Now it's at about 16 to 17,000. The ratings for the WNBA draft was 2.446 million, which was the largest in WNBA history. But it's not just the stats. Her entire game is like a Swiss Army knife. She's got range, she's got vision, and she's got the ice-cold nerves to sink those clutch free throws. Plus, her brain is always working overtime. She knows exactly when to crank up the pace, when to slow it down, and how to exploit even the tiniest opening in the defense. And you better believe the experts have noticed. The comparisons between these two are getting harder to ignore. And while Reese is crushing it in the rebound game with 12.9 a night, that's about where the comparisons stop. Stephen A. didn't sugarcoat it. He straight up called Reese out for becoming too one-dimensional. Her whole game revolves around rebounding, which is great and all, but let's be honest. Clark's all-around brilliance is outshining Reese in every other area. Do I think it was assault, as the Chicago Tribune said? It was not. It was a hard foul. It's wrong. You don't need it in the game. And there's a lot of things that came out of that, people bringing in race, okay? And then there's the not-so-subtle digs and interviews. Reese has made snarky comments here and there, clearly frustrated by the non-stop comparisons to Clark. Like, after one game where Clark totally stole the spotlight, Reese couldn't resist taking a shot with a remark about some players getting all the attention. I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. But it's not just what's being said. It's how she's acting during games. Reese's body language? Not exactly the best. Rolling her eyes, checking out when Clark makes a huge play. It's all out there for everyone to see. Even her teammates are reportedly a little concerned, wondering if her competitiveness is getting drowned out by insecurity. And guess what?